Hey, good morning. It's Cyndi with Cyndi Duncan Arts. I'm here on a nice, sunny, cool day in Northeast Ohio, and I welcome everybody that joins me now during the live, and those of you that come later. Thanks for coming. Um, Today, I'm having technical difficulties again. It just never seems to stop, but we're going to make the best of it. I usually try to have two cameras going so that I can do the close up and then the you know, my face view. You don't need to see my face anyway. um, but my laptop computer is giving me issues this morning. I'm in the process of restarting it so that I can try to see if that will help. But it's been restarting for maybe maybe 5 minutes or more, actually, because I started all of this quite some time ago. I like to be on the ball. It just never seems to follow me. I like it, but it doesn't always happen. So finally just rebooted. Hey, Julie. So hopefully maybe I'll get that going on. But today what I'm going to do is we're going to play with circles. That might actually be like a new theme for a while. Doing circles in a bunch of different ways. Circles are one of my favorite design elements to use. I don't know what it is about the simplicity of the shape, but I just love it in all kinds of ways. I like to mark make with it. I like to use it as, background, use it in focal points. I mean, I love circles. So that's what we're going to do today. While we are waiting for my computer to um, boot, though, I grabbed a one of my journals to do today's technique in. And I thought, you know what? I haven't shown this journal before. This is something I actually created this. I was asked to do demonstration for a manufacturer a number of years ago. And so I did this journal just to kind of show a few different ways of using. This one was using German scrap. So you can see that I used just a little piece of German scrap up there and down there. I'll show you. So this is the first page, and notice the big circle element on that page. Um, yeah, so there's that one. I didn't put too many pages in here, so this is going to go pretty quickly. And then this page, I thought it was kind of fun to do something different on black. So I have the butterfly as an element there with the German scrap, and hopefully you can hear me okay. I did not plug in the microphone today because I found out last night, since I'm so close to it and my neighbor's not next door, so I don't have to have the white noise, it seemed to work out okay. So if you have problems hearing me, just let me know. Yeah, so the black I thought was quite different, but let me give you more of a close up of it. So notice there's texture here. And at the time that I did this page, I did not have a what's it called? An embossing machine. So I just used embossing folders and a bone, what do they call that? Embossing folders and a bone. You know the thing. Is it a bone folder? Maybe it's a bone folder. I just don't want to use the word twice. And a bone folder. And I just rubbed over. Well, hi, Gretchen. Thanks for joining me. I just rubbed over the embossing folder and I got the texture. So for those of you who may not have an embossing machine, you don't need one to do this. It does depend on the paper weight, of course. The heavier the paper, you're not going to be able to do it with. But that's just a stencil there that I used chalk through. So it says every great accomplishment begins with a decision to simply try. So that's the black page. And then this one I wanted to play with. Hold on, I gotta log into my computer. So many steps, so many hoops to jump through. All right. I wanted to play with, clear, like acetate. So this is clear plastic. It's an overlay. And I just used, if I'm not mistaken, that's probably a like an overhead transparency that I did on there. So I used the same stencil on both pieces of this journal. I did the overlay, which you can see through my face. That's that. And then on this page, this is all that I did on this page. So, and I kind of like it because it kind of fits with the theme of today with the circles, because that also has like a mandala circle thing on it. And it says, okay, and this is so true. Every day, one of my biggest goals and challenges is to simply do something creative. I'm often fascinated at the unusual directions my quest for creative expression takes me. Did I use alcohol inks for color on here? I feel like by looking at the color that's on there, and this was so long ago, I can't even begin to tell you. I don't think it was. It could have been, though. But it might have been alcohol ink markers, like markers with alcohol ink in them, because the application is just so precise. But I probably, this part right here would have been through the stencil. So it's possible that I did use alcohol ink on a sponge for that. I don't truly remember. It's been so long since I've done it. But like I said, I pulled that out because I thought I would do my circle play in this book since I have it. So let's see if we can get my computer going. How's everybody doing today? Gretchen and Julie. How you guys doing today? I'm doing great. I forgot to take my allergy pill this morning though, so you can already tell my eyes are a little bit puffy and my it's like the allergies this year from seasonal stuff have been just off the hook. It's been so I don't know what the word is, but they've been really, really bad. All right, let's see. Restore session. See if I can get back there. Very good. I'm glad, Julie. Julie, you're such a good Smurf in Antiques from Karen. If you guys haven't seen Antiques from Karen, that's the channel. Julie's a moderator in Antiques from Karen, and Jan calls her a Smurf because she's blue. Another work day. Oh, good. You know what? I'm debating what I'm doing on Monday too, because I work for myself, I don't really get the day off, and my schedule doesn't really change because I had my live sale yesterday, and then I have today, and I am sourcing tomorrow, so I'll be off tomorrow. So I don't know, maybe, and I've got something going on Saturday too, so I can't do it. I was just thinking, well, maybe I can come in and do invoices. I don't even know. Let's see how much we can kick out today. Maybe I'll work late today. It's like I never get a break when you're working for yourself. When you're working for somebody else, it's like, I'm out of here. I'm not doing it. All right, so I'm back up. Let's see if I can get into StreamYard. But anyhow, Gretchen, what kind of art do you do? Or do you just like it? Is it just something that you enjoy? I'm just curious. It's funny to me how many people in the vintage community are creative. They do arts and crafts, or they do art. Sure. There's always something to occupy my time. Always something. But I'd kind of like to have, a long weekend. Wouldn't that be nice? All right. It's looking like it's coming up, the StreamYard. I can work without it, obviously. But we'll see if we can get it running here. So, because it's always fun when you can do the close-ups. So basically the supplies, and I forgot one of my supplies. I told myself I was going to grab it. So I've got that book that I'm using. I also have, this is some heavier weight paper, which may have come from one of those books at one time. I just pulled it out. Oh, junk journals. little card making and assemblage is my favorite. Yeah, I love to do assemblage stuff. Notice I'm saying it better. I had a hard time with that forever. Um, but I tend to. There's my camera. All right, enter the studio. I don't want that one on. Let's do this one. Look at that. Why does it have? I've got the volume off. Can mute it. Does that help? Okay. Now let's take that one out. Which one's which? Lowercase is. Oh, here, do this. There we go. Okay. Nothing to do with craft. Well, I came out into the studio thinking that I was going to, have all this time to create art. And honestly, the reselling business has basically taken over and it's become like a full-time business. So eking, and don't get too excited. It's not exactly a full-time income. I'm paying the bills, but this much left over. So, sorry for rubbing my nose. The first 6-month goals was to be able to make it pay all the bills, and so it has done that. So the next 6-month goals we're working on building it so I can pay myself. Paying yourself is always a good thing. But yeah, I have a hard time making the time. I just need to be more stringent on my time, I think. Use it more wisely, make that time for art, maybe get in here a little bit earlier in the morning so I have more time. We'll see what I get done. But I like doing the assemblage pieces. I just haven't done them for a while. The last biggest thing that I was doing was fabric collage. Hey, Shelly, thanks for coming. But yeah, so I'm all over the place with my art. I'm a mixed media artist and I just enjoy so many different things. That's kind of why I like doing these little art tidbit things, these little techniques, because I can explore and show a whole bunch of different things and I'm not limited to one particular thing. It's kind of what I've always done. Excuse me, but I think that if I would actually focus on something for a while, I might be able to develop a little bit better. For instance, I don't know if you can see that. I I I'm a beginning oil painter, but I think that if I really I do the wrong way. If I spent some time working on it, I think it would improve, and it might be might be pretty good. But I got to spend the time doing it. Um. Oh, good. Very good. It will come. Very good. I'm glad for you, Gretchen. I'm gonna put that up there. So it takes a while usually for the comments to come up after the fact. Hang on a second. I had to scratch my nose again, and I hate doing it on screen. All right, so my other viewpoint is up. Oh, so I started to tell you what you needed. So you need some sort of paper. I'm using the paper and my journal. I was going to get my scissors because that's part of what I wanted to do with this technique, but we'll see. I can get it later. It's not too far away. You also are going to want probably some sort of coloring medium. I have my big box of colored pencils here. You can use markers, you can use paint. That is one of the fun things about this technique that I'm going to show you is that you can vary it with the different materials that you use. And I'll talk about that when we're doing it so you guys can see what I'm talking about, what I mean. And then of course I have some circle shapes. Oh, this is a lid off of gel medium. This is a lid off of a prescription bottle. And then I have one of my packing tape rolls. So I have different size circles. And I'm sorry, I shouldn't apologize. Just do it. Just do it. And I forgot to get tissue because if you guys get me laughing or something, my eyes are liable to water and I'll look like I'm crying. All right, so I'm going to put me back in. And I'm going to lower this. so we can see. Okay. Very nice. So I've got my paper. It's always funny to get used to that because actually I got to remember that I'm talking into that camera, but looking at that camera. So hopefully the volume doesn't get all screwy on us. The camera is actually way off to one side. It's always funny to try to get used to that angle and how that angle is working. You know, because I got to put my paper all the way over here. All right, so basically this is something that I learned in, well, I almost said kindergarten, and I don't mean kindergarten, I meant elementary school. I've seen it done a number of times, so it may not be new to you, but we're going to play around with it a little bit today and see what different things that we can do with it. And actually, because we have limited time here in our live, I don't want to fill this whole paper because it'll take forever. So I'm going to cut this down. If you wonder what I'm doing, I'm just folding the paper in half. I'm going to tear it because I like the rough edges, and I'm actually going to make it almost ATC size. I don't know exactly what size this is. I think it's a little bit bigger. ATC size is the size of a playing card. And what is an ATC, you might ask, if you don't know? It's an artist trading card. So a lot of artists will make them and they will swap them. So kind of fun. All right. So let's use this. Now, I have a huge circle, but that's okay because I'm going to just trace the inside of my circle, but it's going to go off the page. And we like things. I don't like my double draw there, but can you see that? Maybe I need my, let's get my Sharpie marker. It's not very juicy, but I thought that this pen being black that you'd be able to see it, but I don't think that you really can see it that well. Now I have to get over here and trace again. That's better. You can see that much better. All right, we're going to do that. And I'm going to put another one down here. Like that. Then I'm going to change my sizes a little bit. I'm going to come in here with this. And let's put that. Oops. Like that. And maybe over there like that. All right. And then I've got a bigger one. I could do an even smaller one. Would be fun in there, but I don't want to go get another smaller one. So, hey, good morning, Jazia and Delbert. Thank you. I was busy doing something when you came in, so I wasn't paying attention. Welcome. Thanks for coming. We're playing with circles today. Ooh, look at this. The edge of my thing. Look, it gave me a texture. I thought that was kind of fun. Let's do this over here. Oops. Very nice. And I want one right there. So I'm varying the sizes of my circles. So I have a whole bunch of different sizes going on there. I would actually really like, and I don't, oh yeah, I do. I'd like some smaller sizes. I have a water bottle sitting over here in the background. I'm going to use the lid for this. because why not? I kind of like to have a couple of actual full-size circles on there. And that's the other reason why I like circles in, it's a little, my nose is itching today, sorry. Little jagged. But another good reason to use these circles is because they're so plentiful. You can find circles all over the place. You know, things. And I would use the same items here to actually do mark making, and we'll do mark making in another Thursday morning session using circles. I think I'm on a circle roll for a while. I was on a car, now I'm on a circle roll, like I did that. Circle roll and a cardboard kick. All right, my tracing leaves a little bit to be desired there. All right, so hang on. There we go. So I can itch my nose. Scratch my nose. My nose itches. I'm scratching it. Oh, all right. There we go. Oh, that's nice. Okay. So I've got all of this. I've traced all of the, you know what? Let's put, I need something here in this corner. Let's do that. It was looking a little too bare. I'm going to do the outside edge like that. Yeah. All right. So what you're going to do next is you're going to take, hey, Rebecca, thanks for coming. You're coloring, you know, whatever it is that you're using to color. Like I said, I have these colored pencils. You can use markers, you can use whatever. And I'm going to take, let's see, I like the number 5. Let's find 5 colors that I like together. That's 4. It's another good one. Oh, yeah, I like that. Okay, so I picked my 5. I don't know if you can see it real well. I'll show it under the camera. I picked my 5, which is really kind of funny. I don't normally go with pastel colors, but that's what was speaking to me. So that's just how I operate. Whatever grabs my attention is what I do. Hi, Kim. We're just playing with circles today. I'm going to show you, this is a technique, very simple technique that I've known since I was in elementary school. And it's not something that you've never seen before, probably. You probably have. However, after we get done with this, I'm going to do something maybe a little bit different and see what we can do and create with it that way. But I think I'm on a circle roll. So like, I think we're going to be on circles for a few weeks just to do different things. So what I did at first was I took several different size circles. Oh, I lost my one cap, but lots of different size circles, different things. And I traced the circles onto the little piece of paper. And this is a heavier weight mixed media paper. And then I'm going to take now my coloring medium and I pull these colored pencils. You can use markers, you can use paints, use whatever. So we're going to try to do this really quick. Just color in the little spaces. Now, ways to vary this technique. And by the way, I am not giving a whole lot of thought to where I'm placing these colors. I'm just putting them all over. You could do mark making in each one of these squares, or not squares, you know, these sections. You could do all sorts of things. And we might play with some of those different ways to create with this particular technique another time, but lots of different ways. But we're just coloring in different areas of this with different colors. I may change my mind and add different as we go. I selected 5 colors because I like the number 5. And when you create, it's a good idea to create with odd numbers. Oh, good, Evan. I'm glad you were finally able to do it. Yeah, watercolor circles with watercolors, markers, paints of any kind. Let's do some more of this yellow. Yeah, you can do all kinds of fun stuff. And I often have a hard time leaving white space, but I'll have to try to leave some white space on this time and see if I enjoy that. So yeah, my idea is to do simple things that get the creativity jump started a little bit so that we can move on and do other creative things. You know, sometimes it takes just stepping off and doing something in order to get those creative juices moving. And I know that this shakes the camera a little bit. My apologies. I still haven't gotten to the point where I can justify spending the money on the floor. I'm going to get a floor holder so that it's not affected by the table. I've been talking about that for a few weeks. Don't quite have it yet. All right, so let's put some blue in here. Put this blue right here. And this kind of harkens back to the whole adult coloring craze too. So if you just like to color, you know, this is always a fun thing to do because it just, it's kind of zen-like. I'm just looking for placement. If you wonder when I'm putting my pencil down, I'm trying to just vary the concentration, I guess, of the color so that it's pleasing to the eye. Thank you, Book Bewitched. There's no brilliance involved in this, but I appreciate the sentiment. All right, let's come in here with some green. And I like it over here. And let's put, I like it there, but I don't want to divide that space. So I'll put it down here. And then I've got my gray. Ooh, I kind of like the gray. I like the contrast of this. I'll show you. Look, kind of hard to see it so far. I'd love it if I could use my back camera with StreamYard, but I don't think that you can. I don't think that's a possibility. Maybe it is. I don't know. Do you guys know something that I don't know? Like watching. We're going to put some happy little marks of color. Yeah, you know what? It's zen like doing it for sure. If you guys are getting some zen out of it, watching it, that's awesome too. All right, let's do, we're going to do over here. And over here. Notice I'm doing the threes. Like I said, I like to do, there's a rule of threes in art, but I think it's more than just a rule of threes. It's a rule of odd numbers. So I don't know, and I can't remember what I heard. I knew the reasoning why at one point in time, and I don't remember the reasoning why. It has something to do with the way your mind fills in the blanks. So for some reason, the odd numbers are more pleasing aesthetically. So all right, so we've got that. Now this is cool just in and of itself. But let me come back on so you can see me. Oops, wrong. Oh, that's one. And then we'll figure it out. There we go. Get it figured out. Anyway, so that was pleasing in and of itself. Oh, okay, yeah, I know that. My computer just told me the mic was muted, but I've got the mic on the other camera, so unless, can you hear me? You should be able to hear me even though I have that one off because it's still in the stream. Anyway, so this is cool just in and of itself. However, we are going to, I'm going to take this and we're going to cut it up. I know, right? It's kind of scary, but it's kind of fun at the same time. Now, I think, well, we're going to change the shape a little bit because we've got all the circles going on in this. Let's just cut regular strips. Won't that be fun? Let's see what we've got going on. And that's where I need my scissors. Hang on just a second. Look, even matted like that, that's cool. All right. So if I were to do this in my normal creative process, I would use my paper cutter so that I would get nice, even stuff. But since I don't have my paper cutter, I'm just, you see what I'm doing? It's a creative. I was thinking, so I was going to do this. And then I'm thinking, oh, I wonder what it would look like if I did my cutting this way. That. So we're going to try that just to be weird and different because it's something I haven't done before. Now getting these on the same orientation is going to be fun. So like I said, normally I would do this on my paper cutter so that I have uniform width. And I know these aren't uniform. I can see it already because I wanted to make sure I got in the corner there. And here too, this one's going to be smaller. But, oops, that was an accident. It's a good thing it's on the back side. And we'll come here. All right, that one's bigger. That's okay. We're just playing around. Oh, I'm sorry. I grabbed a hold of my, I've got it plugged in. Oh, that's the brilliance. All right, so I'm not even looking at the front. I'm just going to cut along my lines on the back. Actually, I'm going to cut that one a little bit. All right, so we got them cut up into all these little fun pieces parts. Well, let's see what we can do. Oh, that's the other thing that I forgot. I forgot my glue stick. Well, let's just play with them to start with and we'll see. Maybe I don't need to glue them down for you. All right, so we got the paper. You like the sound of cutting paper. All right, let's. I'm all about having things run off the edges too, by the way, if they don't have to be perfect. And I actually don't like them lined up too perfectly. I kind of am liking the horizontal nature of it. So I'm going to kind of keep those lines relatively straight. But I noticed that I juxtapositioning these because they don't need to be. And then let's see about putting that right there. All right, so I think I'm going to glue them down so I can pull it up and you can see closer. But the cool thing about this is, I'm trying to talk so you can hear me from the camera here. The cool thing about this is we started out with circles, and now we don't have circles anymore. Hang on, I'm getting my glue stick. I'm going to let you look at the pretty while I'm gone. Oh, of course, you know I'm back because I knocked the camera all the Kingdom Come. And I like it like that. Okay. I always have to figure out. I bring both glue sticks because I never know which one actually works. One of them's got the lid attached very tightly. All right, you can use any kind of adhesive for this. This is just what I have handy, and it works for me. And I can reposition it a little bit as I put it down, which is always nice. I'm gonna put the big ones on first. Sorry. I got all quiet, right? And this isn't like the kind of videos where when it gets quiet, you can play the music because it's not an edited video. So a couple weeks ago, I did a project that did I call it random or accidental art? I don't remember which one it is, but that was one of the tidbits. And I'm really a big fan of the random kinds of art where you're just throwing things together to see what you can, come up with. Did I have it this way? I think I did. So, in this little exercise here, we very mindfully made those circles. We made the circles, we colored them in, and made that like how we thought it was pleasing to the eye, and then we cut it all up. And now we're throwing it back together in different ways that we might not have thought to do otherwise. So I like that sort of thing. And of course, there's a certain degree of course, looking for what's pleasing to the eye and putting it down that way. But there is a great degree of randomness to this as well. Since it's really hard to see any circles in this piece. It's very difficult to even make out a circle. You can kind of tell, at least they're round and circular lines, but right there, those two are loose. It's always fun after this is over. Yeah, random art, it frees my creativity in so many ways. So that's why it's a good thing for me to do to jumpstart my creativity, is to do these kind of random art things, because it allows me to do something, anything, without too much thought, and then it gets me going on other things usually. And so what happens behind the scenes that you guys don't get to see after our little coffee and creativity is that I stress usually, it doesn't always happen, but I usually then will go and finish off the piece so that I have a finished piece for the thumbnail, and I'll switch up the thumbnail. So this is what we have here on the end. Now, how cool would that look if I did that on black paper, right? I don't think I have any black paper here in the studio, but now this piece, I actually, as I'm looking, well, it's down. I might want like wish I had a sliver there. This is a little bit bigger of a space than I like, but you know what? We could also come in, let's trim off these edges. All right, so that's what I have now. I don't like it. Actually, once I cut off those edges, I don't mind that extra space there at all. But we could come in with a black marker. And maybe I'll do that off screen. Maybe that's something that I'll do off screen, because I like to keep this like to 45 minutes. Unless I have somebody coming to pick up from last night's sale. I know most of you know me from my other channel, and I don't know if that banner's in here or not. Did it stay with the? Yeah, it did. Okay. So most of you know me from Mimi's Treasure Cottage. So I just had a live sale last night on my channel. I sell vintage items. If you're not aware of that channel, and a live sale on that other channel. And one of my customers actually is local. Actually, she's a friend. She's a friend first and a customer, customer after the fact. But she's stopping by to pick up what she bought last night. So I gotta get moving on getting that ready. But this is what we came up with, what I came up with together with you. So it'd be really fun to see what you guys come up with if you want to play with circles today and create something similar. If you could tag me on Instagram, that would be awesome. It's just Cyndi Duncan Arts. Just remember how I spell my name. That's always very important. I spell my name like Cyndi Lauper. So if you could just, Cyndi Duncan, like Duncan Hines Arts, and tag me. And I would love to see what you guys come up with. That would be really cool. So hope you enjoyed this. I do appreciate all of you that stopped by live during this portion. And I love all of you guys that come later. Thank you so much. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell so you know when I go live or post new content. It really helps the channel. I am trying really hard to get this channel moving, and so I can eventually get it up to 1,000, get it monetized to help keep me in my studio. Also, for those of you that are interested, if you'd like to help support the channel in different ways, I usually have in my actual published videos, the ones that I upload, a link for Buy Me a Coffee. And I know many of you have already purchased me a nice warm beverage through that link, and I appreciate it. So thank you so much for that support as well. So thanks for coming, you guys. I love it. Love spending time with you, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye for now.